So I've got a couple of questions here for you on calculating the determinant of a 3 by 3 matrix. What I want you to do is read the questions, pause the video, have a crack at them, and then come back and check your working against the working I'm going to present to you. Here you go. So there you go, it's just 3 matrices there. I want you to calculate the determinants of each of those matrices. So pause the video, take a couple of minutes, and then come back and check what you've done. So first matrix was given by -2, 1, 3, 0, -4, 2, -1, 2, 1. And I want to calculate the determinant of that matrix. First things first, I'm going to look for zeros. Now there's a 0 in the second row, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to expand along that row and use that as my base for calculating the determinant. So what that means is I'm going to take each element here, ignore the column that it lies within, and then make a 2 by 2 determinant with the remaining elements of the matrix. So first one that I'm going to do is I'm going to ignore this column within. So I've got my 0 and my column here out. So that's then going to give me 0 times the determinant of what's left, which is 1, 3, 2, 1. 1, 3, 2, 1. But what I also have to take into account, remember, is my signs. So let's just put that down here. So plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus from my matrix of signs. We're expanding along the second row. So we're going to go along there. So my first element is a minus. Then I've got a plus, and I'm going to expand along the second one, which is the -4. So ignoring that column as well. So I've then got plus the -4 times the determinant of what's left, so -2, 3, -1, 1. -2, 3, -1, 1. Third element in the row is a take away, so it's a negative, and I'm then imagining I'm ignoring the third column. So it's a 2 here, and then it's going to be the determinant of -2, 1, -1, 2. So -2, 1. -1, 2. Now we just do each of the calculations, combine all my answers, get a value. Now this first one here is 0 times something, so that can go. That's why I've chosen to expand along the second row. If I've done that, I get a 0 here, makes my life a lot easier. Then got this second one here, so I get -4 times the determinant in the bracket, so I get -2 times 1, take away -1 times 3. Then got my second bit there, so -2 times -2 times 2 minus -1 times 1. So this bit here, I've got -4 times, well, I've got -2 minus -3, so -2 plus 3, which is 1. I've then got take away 2 times, so that's -4 there, minus -1, so it's -3. So that gives me -4 minus -6, so -4 plus 6. So I've got a determinant of 2. So there you go, determinant at 3 by 3 matrix is 2. Second matrix was this one, and it's going to be the same logic and the same operations. Now, because there is no zeros, I can expand along any row or any column, that I want, taking into account all the columns. Just to save mucking around too much, I'm just going to stick with the first one. Tend to stick with that one if there's no way of eliminating it, make it nice and easy. So again, remember your matrix of signs. First thing you should do is think about that, because the signs, remember, are very important and a vital part of what we do. And then we just work it. So from that, what I can say is I've got -2 here. And my times the determinant, if I ignore that column there, of this little bit here, so I've got -2, 1, 1, -2. Now my sign is a positive, but this element here is -2. So it's going to be plus -2, which is just the -2 there. So then minus, because my second element is take away for this one, I then go up the second column. So ignore that column with the row, and then use what's left to make my 2 by 2 matrix. So it's then going to be take away 1 times 1, 1, 3, -2 there. Third one's then a plus, again looking at the matrix of signs. It's going to be 3 because it's that row and that column, and then this little matrix here that's left. 1, -2, 3 and 1. So what I now do is do the calculations. Do it all, combine it all, sort it. So I've got -2 times -2 times -2. Take away 1 times 1. So that's the first one. Then got -1 times -2 times 1 minus 3 times 1. Then got +3 times 1 take away -2 times 3. And then we just do each of them. So I've got -2 times, well, that's -2 times -2, so that's 4 minus 1, so that's times 3. I've then got -1 times, so I've got -2, take away 3, so it's times -5. Then got +3 times 1 minus -6, 1 minus -6, 1 plus 6, so that's a 7. So what I end up with is -6 plus 5 plus 21. So I get a determinant of 20. So there you go. Calculations for that one. Gets me that determinant. Last one, I want the determinant of this matrix. Now this here, remember, is the identity matrix. So the identity matrix for a 3x3 system. So again, we can take any row or column that we want. So in the last couple of examples, I've done a middle and I've done a top. Let's take the bottom, just to show that it doesn't matter which one we do. Now there are zeros all over the place for this one. I've taken one of the rows with 2 zeros. It doesn't matter which one I pick, they'll all have 2 zeros in them anyway. But like I say, I'm just expanding along this one because I've not done it yet for any of the examples. Matrix of signs. Help me out there. And then I just do each element on its own. So going up this column here, I've got 0 times the matrix 0, 0, 1, 0. Well, that's fine. And then got minus because of this. 0 times the matrix that's left by that. So that would be 1, 0, 0, 0. I've then got plus 1 times the matrix left by 1, 0, 0, 1. Now, good thing, this and this, they're both equal to 0, which is nice. I've then got this here, so I'm going to get 1 times 1 minus 0. So 1 times 1 minus 0 is 1. So the determinant of my identity matrix for a 3x3 system is just 1. Calculating the determinant is not a difficult process once you see the steps and once you see actually how it's done in practice. Key things to remember: expanding along the rows, take it in turns to ignore the columns and make your 2x2 matrix from what's left. Make sure you do your matrix of signs and you bring them into play as you expand along the rows. And remember to try and make your life as easy as you possibly can. Pick any row that contains zeros. Once you've done that, it'll make the calculations much more straightforward and simple because you'll have less work that you'll ultimately have to do. Bear all this in mind. Calculating a 3x3 matrix is fairly straightforward. Once we get in the habit of the techniques and the methodologies, you'll nail it every single time.